we still want as county governments clarity on what will be the benefit accruing to counties. It must be on pen and paper. You know, we have to have this discussion. Our problem, that's why you see so many counties dilly-dallying, is the program is still at the ministry. You've not visited my county. I am among the most willing, ready county that has been on the path of planning for the last 6 years. Let's take these things now from Nairobi to the county level. Let's have a direct engagement. I think that once I understand and my county government knows what is going to accrue, waiving the fees is not an issue. We have waived on other areas in terms of land rates. Sometimes we give waiver on penalties and on rates. As long as there is that clear understanding, I'm sure counties will be ready. And I'm willing, one appears, because I'm also a member of the Lands and Urban Committee at the Council of Governors, you know, to create these engagements so that we can conclude on the matter where counties are supposed, you know, to play a role in creating that environment.
What we have achieved to date is we have received under Section 114A of our Procurement Act, what is called Specially Permitted Procurement, Section 114A. What does that mean? It means that we have got to onboard strategic investors and recognize that capital behaves in a certain way, that capital does not wait around for us to make our decision. It will go somewhere else. It will go to Rwanda and elsewhere. Therefore, we have created an enabling environment that is very attractive to the private sector. On 14th of February, we closed what is called Window 1 for calls for application. We received over 9,000, listen to this, 9,900 acres of privately owned land that private sector is saying we want to make it available for affordable housing. So land is no longer the issue. Over 9,900 acres of land to do affordable housing. And by the way, my good classmate, I have seen Eldoret, there is some things there. So I'll come and tell you who it is that wants to, has made land available. So even as county, you look for your own land. We know that private sector is sitting with very good land, and if they're given an enabling environment, they can make it available for affordable housing.
There is a whole issue of land value capture. Traditionally, we've not looked at space and air as an opportunity. But as you allow a developer to come and set up that beautiful flat, think that as a county government, you provide water, sewer, and so on. Likewise, we should see the private sector commit to increasingly pay more in terms of the opportunity you're giving them, the free, so development rights.
Technology has to be embraced across the whole value chain, in terms of construction and in terms of the processes that people have to go through. If you imagine that the approval processes for a developer, they are more than 18 to 20 processes. And it takes some, let's say for example, change of user, building plan approvals. Now that we are here in a county forum, we have 47 counties, and all of those 47 counties have different processes. Within a county, we have to have standardized levies, standardized permits, and embracing of e-permitting systems.
You know, Bwana PS, we have a building code that was established in 1925. It has not been revised to date. In that building code, they tell you a Motofari house, the one that we consider in rural areas as permanent, they call it semi-permanent. So again, the regulations and the laws that were established then need to be reviewed to reflect the current situation, to reflect the current technology, to reflect the current materials that are available for building. We in counties, we are ready. But I think to avoid a facade way of handling things, why don't we standardize? Senator, why don't you help us review these laws so that we can make them current? And the speed at which we are going to review will also impact the speed of implementation of the affordable housing. So there will also be need for Senate and Parliament to fast track some of the legislations required to enable some of these activities to be implemented. We are ready as counties. Again, we want to do some direct engagement, see where systems have worked. There is no need of reinventing the wheel. And that special permitted procurement, Bwana PS, should not be a preserve of your ministry or the national government. Because these are part of the things that are curtailing progress. Why do you want me to tender for a system, you know, for approval, for planning? If there's a system already working in Kiambu or some other county, why can't I be allowed to do a direct procurement at the cost? Kiambu procured. Why should I again go engage in tendering process? I get people with very good documents. You know, there are people who specialize in documentation and they win tenders. Wait until they begin implementing. You realize you have a big problem. So where we have success, there is no need, you know, to take me through a whole cycle of procurement. There should be specially permitted procurement process where it allows me to come to the ministry. If they have procured that type of a system, I only need to ask the vendor, the costs, and I issue an LPO, and they give me the system, and I'm able to roll out.
Looking at innovative technologies to bring down construction costs. Construction costs, to be able to afford to get to affordable housing, we need to bring down construction cost to about between 15 to 18,000 shillings per square meter. If these affordable housings are being sold at 50,000 shillings per square meter, we have to make sure that the affordable construction cost, which is a big component, has to come down.
To date, I have received, in terms of expressions of interest, from funders and not debt. Let me make it very clear. These are investors. People who are saying that we will put money, we will build those houses in partnership with local Kenyans for over 2.6 trillion shillings. At no additional cent to the national debt, we have people who are willing to to cut a check to this country to build over 1 million houses as we sit now, and that is only window 1. Window 2 is supposed to open in April. That means that as State Department, whatever interventions we have put in place, certainly they have captured the interest of the investor world. And I think that is something that needs to be encouraged. And therefore, what is then needed for counties is that these investors are not investing on national government land. That is very important. So these investors are available to you. So Bwana Mandago, because I know, we know each other from a long time. I know you're a progressive governor. You should be camping in our office and saying, who are these investors? Because under this specially permitted procurement, you don't need to go through any other procurement process. You just need to come and say, here is land that is available. We want to use this SPP. Please bring these investors. They invest in Uasin Gishu County and the other counties.
Those of you who are CCs for planning and housing, those who are chief officers, those who are planners, those who are architects, let's work as a team. Those who are, if you are participating in any way in this process of affordable housing or in the whole process of housing and lands, let's work as a team. If you want us to succeed, we must work as a team. Using the funds that have been given by the World Bank, the 114 million US, we are making a commitment as county governments to prudently use that money to service the areas that we are going to develop the affordable housing in the counties. 2, we are also making a commitment on the issue of planning to make sure that the developments that are going to come will be in respect to proper zoning regulations that will have been established through the planning process. We are also making a commitment that we are going to do sufficient public participation to reduce the time it takes to roll out the projects.
Thank you, sir.
When it comes to planning of urban centers, as we plan for all other cadres of development, there must be not just now but also in future land left aside for affordable housing or for the housing in particular.